We all know the importance of branding your work. I'm going to show you a quick, easy, effective, and inexpensive way, whether it's just one or two, or literally hundreds of pieces. These small medallions are created from paperback veneer. I'll talk about that more in a bit, but for now, let's go ahead and create a cavity to accommodate one. I suppose the obvious choice for creating that cavity would be to use a Forstner bit, but for this application, I made a dedicated base for my router, and I will show you the reasoning behind that down the road. So you can see here that jig is pretty straightforward, and I cut these medallions in hundreds of these rectangular shaped pieces of Baltic birch, and here I'm going to set the depth. So I just bring the bit down till it makes contact with the work, lock that in place, grab one of the medallions. This is paperback veneer. They call it a 10 mil paperback. The thickness doesn't concern me. I just need to make sure that it routes in flush. So I can put it between the turret and the depth stop rod, lock that in place, and I know I'm going to be plunging exactly that depth. So I needed a way to hold this plunge router stationary and secure, so I just made this little block of wood. I'll secure this in my tail vise, right? And I need the depth, the plunge depth, to move freely, so I unlock the lever, clamp it in place. Now, the reason I don't use a Forstner is because plywoods, even if you order the same thickness, can vary slightly, and if you're using a drill press, that depth can vary. By plunging off the face of the material, it doesn't matter what thickness it is, that depth will always be the same. Here I'm checking the depth. It's perfect, so we can make our cuts. Now, by holding my hands out toward the edges, this maneuver is actually quite safe, and I can quickly bang these out. Now, they do make a bit that cuts the entire surface, but those are planing bits, and they're designed to flatten or mill a warped slab, and they're really not designed to plunge cut. So for me, it's pretty simple to cut that center part out. All right, so now I just add some glue to the veneer, to the little medallions, and I add just enough so I don't have any squeeze out, but even if I do, I have wax paper between the pieces, and just clamp them together in pairs, and I can bang out dozens at a time. Here's an older batch that I had made, and I used to use this spray 90 adhesive and try to put it on as light as I could, but even then, after months or even longer, this is probably years old, it just sticks way too good. You can't get it back off very easy without tearing these up. Too much work. And not only that, the back of them would get adhesive that just wouldn't come off. And so I found something better. It's just this easy tack. It's for paper, and you can put it on one side. It adheres lightly, but enough to be able to peel this whole background completely off. And you can see there's little to no glue residue on the back. And then these dudes they literally just fall off. You can see how they're all ready, right? So you get a big old pile of them. So that works really well. And here are some more for the DF500s glued in place. So it's a quick way, easy way, effective way, inexpensive way to brand your work. So this is nothing more than sheet veneer, paperback veneer. So it's a solid piece of wood, in this case mahogany, very thin, right? And adhered to paper of some sort. So it makes it, it keeps it from falling apart. You could probably do this with raw veneer, but they might split really easily. So paperback veneer, I don't use this in my work, but back when I worked at a commercial cabinet shop, I was production manager, and we used tons of this. A piece of walnut, some maple, more mahogany, And we used to throw out a lot of relatively big pieces, and so I used to just snag that, and you know, I could glue it on something like this. I think this is 18 by 18. I could take this to my awesome lady that does my engraving, and I think I would put it on both sides. Yeah, I could use this a few times, and works really well. She can put however many on here. Quite a few. That's over 100 per side. So yeah, fantastic way to do it. So here's that router bit. This is an Amana by Tools Today, and I'll leave the link to this number in the description. This cuts 1.5 inch diameter, and my lady, she cuts these like 1 or 2 thousandths under, and you can see the fit is just perfect. And of course, these have the insert cutter, so you can rotate these. So it works very well. This is the other template for this other size that I do. So these are for the DF500 domino dock, and they have a 2-degree taper. And so this simple jig that just indexes in that with that 2-degree taper. Better put it that way, right? Make the plunge, remove it, boom. Super quick and easy. And I get it. There's a lot of ways you could brand your work. Branding irons are really popular. I don't know a lot about branding irons, but I do know that laser engraving produces really intricate detail. So here are a few emblems from pieces that I've done in the last couple of years, and I add a date on completion of the piece, which actually numbers a piece as well. But on my domino docks, I just add an emblem without a date, as shown here. Anyway, thanks a ton. Hope you got some use out of this. Ciao.